bless your heart, kiss my black pants.
I see you, devil. I see you, devil. Ain't nobody scared of you, devil.
Church is named by the identity of the people in the room. Every church in Atlanta, Georgia is a gay church. Every last one. I said what I said, and I'm not taking it back.
Now, you're more than welcome, man of God. Man of God, man of God. Here, let me tell you this. The Bible say, lay hands on no man. Now, you're more than welcome, man of God. I see you, devil. I see you, devil. Ain't nobody scared of you, devil. I see you, devil.
For a minute,
Lord, I want to know your plan. Can we talk for a minute? Lord, I want to know.
and we have come listen. Stop. Now.
Happy New Year. God bless your heart. Kiss my black pants. I said, kiss my black pants. I know I may have done some things that I shouldn't have done.
No, he said he's a federal employee. We pay him. We raise money to make sure that we have a Department of Education. Everybody that's hired at the Department of Education are here because we pay for them to be here. He's standing here today, blocking the door, and he can't give us a good reason why he's blocking this door.
Make sure they see right here. All access entrance.
Well, and I think it should be clear to parents in the United States, if you want to advocate on behalf of your children, you are not allowed to come into this building where you pay taxes. Parents who have children who are disabled, access is being blocked. You voted for members of Congress to advocate on behalf of your children. Children with disabilities, for young women who have been victims of sexual assault in our classrooms, on our school grounds. Members of OCR are fighting for your children. We are not allowed in the building to talk to them. We are not allowed to advocate on behalf of America's children. America, we have a problem.
Now, everybody stand back and let the camera see. They're calling all of these gun-loading people out on us. They're calling them out on us. Look behind this door. Who do you see back there?
The doors will open.
Do they have guns on them? Do they have
any
guns?
weapons.
Are they prepared to shoot us? We want in.
Tell what it says on the door.
All
access entrance.
It says all entrance.
Government building.
I'm a member of Congress. I'm chair of the Progressive Caucus. I'm vice-ranking member of the Education Committee. And the baseline responsibility of the Congress is to oversee our federal agencies. Each and every one of us have been in this building and through these doors. But of course, as soon as we get word that Elon Musk and Donald Trump want to shut down the Department of Education, suddenly they don't want to let members of Congress in that ask questions. Musk and the Republicans, they say they're supposedly about saving us money, bringing transparency, seeing where the dollars really go. No, they're the ones that lock the doors and make sure that your elected representatives can't even ask questions.
We can't ask questions. Can't you know that they're responsible for all of the student loans in this country?
I hear that they want to cut those student loans
That's
and
right.
give them as tax cuts to their billionaire friends.
And are they aware of Title I, where mothers are getting up, going to work for minimum wages, and they cannot afford the education that the billionaires have for their children? And we try to help them by giving money to this kind of person here, and the people who work here, included all of the people in this country, and those Title I families who need some help, both in urban areas and rural areas, and mothers who can't even afford the child care that they need for their children while they're taking these jobs, making minimum wages, and we're helping them with Title I, and this man is blocking the door. He says, we're coming in, don't block the door. We're coming in. Who are you?
You're not coming in.
Who are you?
Who under whose
Who are
order?
you? Who are you?
Who are you, sir?
Do you have business here?
I've sent the assistant secretary a letter alerting her that we would be here today, and we've asked her for a meeting.
Yeah, I don't know that that's been accepted, so until that's accepted.
Who are you? And what do you do here?
What do you do
I have
here?
security responsibility.
Get out of the way. We pay for your job. We pay you.
We're members of
We pay
Congress.
you.
We're here
Nobody has accepted a meeting.
members of Congress.
You are.
We haven't heard that from the secretary. We haven't heard that from the spokesman.
I'm relaying that.
You are not the spokesman for the department. You are a security guard.
Can you identify?
You gotta get your name.
We are members of
Where's your bag? Where's your bag?
You don't have any identification.
Where's your ID? Where's your ID?
We are not
It's not good enough.
We are not a threat to security. We're members of Congress and we want to ask the question.
You walk into the White House without having to go through magnetometers.
Can we get someone?
This is an outrage. This is an outrage.
I'd like to speak with someone who works here.
So what are you going to do? You're going to beat us up if we go in?
I mean, you're going to,
We want you to move out of the way.
We're not steamrolling you. We're
Get out of the way.
This says all access
sure that
entrance.
we
Stand
can't.
aside, sir.
We're
This
members
says
of
all
Congress.
access entrance.
Please stand aside, sir.
I'm not standing aside.
Why not?
Because my role is to make sure that...
What authority do you have to block members of Congress from the oversight? We don't have oversight responsibilities. By what authority can you deny members of Congress their oversight role?
If you don't have a business reason to be here,
You do not have authority, sir. You do not have authority. There is no authority for you to deny members of Congress their oversight responsibility.
We're the
If you have an
appropriate.
appointment and you're on a guest list, we will let you in.
How are we on a guest list? Is what you're saying? Is what you're saying?
Or
that
you have to have an escort.
Let me ask
Somebody
you a
come down
question.
and escort.
Can I ask my question? Are you
Send them
telling
down.
me today that you have to be on a guest list in order to come to the Department of Education?
Either we are informed in advance if somebody's coming, or
Oh, they
You
know
were
we were
informed.
coming.
You were informed of it.
So
94 members of
to
Congress,
take you where you're going.
sir, 94 members of Congress signed a letter asking the acting secretary for a meeting and to answer a simple question. And she's
I'm
apparently
not aware of the meeting.
So you have to be on a guest list to enter the Department of Education.
Members
I
of
just
Congress,
explained
we
you
don't have to be
either
on the guest list.
On a list in advance to have access, or if you're coming, then you have to let us know who your escort is. I don't know.
That was last year. Did something change between last
That's
year?
always been.
No, it hasn't. I've walked into this building multiple times last year. I walked in. We were at least allowed to walk into that lobby, not stopped outside
Well,
like this.
it's no difference. I mean, you'd be stopped at the visitors desk.
We're
Okay,
trying
let's
to
go.
stop
I'm doing that in advance.
No.
Why are you doing that?
We're allowed to go to the
We've
visitors
got
desk.
100 people out here.
We're trying to save
members of Congress. These are
You
members
won't
of
have a
Congress.
job. We're trying to save your job. You won't have a job if we don't help you.
This is not
You won't have any place to send your kids.
We're here speaking for a ton of kids from coast to coast that deserve a quality public education, and this department should stay open. And we want to share that
The
message.
leadership department's working to do that.
We're not so sure. That's why we're here.
That's what we want to talk to her about.
Last year, we'd be able to walk in and go to that desk.
I mean, the response I got right here, that doesn't sound like,
Sir.
it's not dangerous.
I'm going to stop you right there. No. I'm going to stop you right there and put it on the record. You did not get a dangerous response
She
here.
told me to get out of the way.
You did not get a dangerous response here, so I'm not going to let you put that
Excuse me,
narrative out
don't worry,
there.
he can lie
I'm not going to let you put that narrative out there. I'm going to tell you to your face that that's a lie. We are members of Congress, as she said. What I asked you is, do we need to be on a guest list to be in?
Or somebody coming down to escort.
But there was no danger or threat to you. So let's just make sure that
We are allowed to go to that desk right
there
there.
was no danger to you.
We are allowed to go to that desk right there.
Go get somebody to escort
Times
us.
in the past years.
Go get somebody to escort us in. You know this
The acting
building.
secretary, Denise Carter.
Yeah, that's who we came to
Or,
see.
or
Get
the
someone.
chief of staff.
So what?
I said there's not an acceptance.
Why
are you not letting us in?
Why can't we ask for one? Why can't we go in and ask for one?
That's not a thing. I have not seen that.
Why can't we go in and ask for one?
Can you send somebody from the Department of Education who's not just a security guard?
I've explained why you're not coming.
Well, are you prepared to stand here for 24 hours with us? Are you prepared to stand here all night if we decide to stay?
I guess, yes.
All right, well, you just stay right there. You just stay and stand.
Why aren't you letting us go to that desk like we were able to do last year?
He's not a U.S. employee.
This is a public institution.
Elon Musk hire you?
So, are you not aware of members of Congress and what our responsibilities are?
We're trying to save your job.
He's not a federal employee. Just like I'm telling you. Can I see you?
Show us your badge again. Let's see.
How do we know who you are?
I don't
Turn it
know.
around.
I
We
don't
can't
know
see
who
it.
it
Can we
is.
see your badge?
I'm a federal
We're
employee.
allowed to,
Why are you
allowed to go
holding
to
it
that
like that?
visitor's desk like we have been allowed to do in past years.
Well,
We
now
are
they're
allowed to
bringing
go to
more-
that visitor's
now they're
desk.
bringing Department of Homeland Security.
They should come out.
absurd.
They should come
Yeah, let
out.
them come out. Let them come out.
I know at a minimum.
we have
we are
those
allowed to
too.
go to that visitor's desk.
We have one of those too, just like
At a
you.
minimum.
Why can't we get in?
He does not have one of those.
We have one of those.
He ain't got one of those.
We're members of Congress. Let us in.
We'd like you to.
We've always been allowed in.
Members of Congress. We want to have a meeting.
Were you told to deny members of Congress entrance into this building, sir?
That's a good
Were
question.
you told to
Why
deny
did you call
members
the
of Congress
Department of
into this
Homeland
building?
Security? This is absurd.
Were you told to stand here?
Yeah, were you told to deny members of Congress from entering this building?
There's no business purpose to be here, so that's why.
But
There's no business purpose.
We are members of
You can
Congress.
say that
and
with a
many of
straight
us are on
face.
the Education Committee.
Are
How
you-
can you say there's
Are
no
you making a
business?
decision for the Department of Education on your own behalf? Were you told to come out here and block members of Congress?
know that we're here.
Max, ask the question again. That's important.
Were you told, are you making this decision to stand in front of this door on your own behalf, on behalf of the Department of Education, or were you told to come out here and block members of Congress and ride the desk?
Doing my job.
So everybody's
What is
freelancing.
that?
We're doing our jobs.
We're trying to save your job.
It's
Show
non-responsive.
them your ID. Were you told to stand here, or did you decide to stand here and block members of Congress from entering the Department of Education?
To federal buildings.
By members of Congress.
We're allowed in there.
So a private security contractor
Do you know who
is
members of Congress
blocking
are?
members of
So we're all
Congress.
members of Congress.
Maybe he doesn't understand. Do you
A private
understand who
security
members of Congress are?
contractor is making a decision to block members of Congress from a public access entrance.
I don't think he knows.
You have the
who-
authority
what
as a
Congress
private
is or
security
what we do.
contractor to block members of Congress. That has been knighted and granted to you.
You have to at least let us go to the desk.
Yeah.
Sending the goons out.
Oh my. Look at that.
Who told you to do this? Open the door.
So do you understand who members of Congress are?
And you don't
Who
care.
are we then?
You don't care.
We have a job to do.
We're not dangerous people. We're not, I don't know, security. There are no thieves and thugs out here. We're members of Congress. We're parents, we're teachers.
Each of us.
There's our ID. Right
We
there.
were elected to do this.
This is our job.
This is our job. We're doing our job.
Oh wow.
You're securing this building against who?
Members of Congress.
Who are you
The people.
protecting in
Against
there?
members of the people's
So
house
this
or
is the
represent the
beginning of
people.
full transparency of this administration.
That's right.
The administration that talked about they're going to open the doors to all of these things and show the American public what is going on. They won't even open the door to this building to members of Congress. We are not posing any threat here. We are not dangerous people. We have not done anything. We're trying to request a meeting, and they have a private security contractor who on his own is making decisions on behalf of the Department of Education.
So Congressman Hayes, what you're saying is they allow billionaires and his minions to come in to this building.
I don't know who he is, but I know who I am. And I'm a member of Congress with oversight responsibilities trying to request a meeting, and a private security contractor is not allowing me to enter the building.
They allow billionaires to go into this building, but not the people's representatives. They allow billionaires and cronies to go in, but not. There's a lack of transparency here. The members of Congress, the people's representatives are not allowed in. This is not transparent.
They're locking our kids out. Well, not only are they not letting us in, now they've called the Department of Homeland Security. We are members of Congress here to talk with the Department of Education, and they're treating
the
us.
kids deserve to have us go in and fight for them.
This is appalling.
Children of this country deserve that battle.
This is a public institution. This is not Russia. Let the camera see him. Let the camera see him. This man here.
We are members of Congress.
Come in.
They're blocking
us.
us.
See this man here, who is a federal employee. He told us.
He's not.
Are you a federal employee? Huh?
Yes.
No, he said he's a federal employee. We pay him. We raise money to make sure that we have a Department of Education. Everybody that's hired at the Department of Education are here because we pay for them to be here. He's standing here today, blocking the door, and he can't give us a good reason why he's blocking this door.
Make sure they see right here, all access entrance.
Well, and I think it should be clear to parents in the United States, if you want to advocate on behalf of your children, you are not allowed to come into this building where you pay taxes. Parents who have children who are disabled, access is being blocked. You voted for members of Congress to advocate on behalf of your children. Children with disabilities, for young women who have been victims of sexual assault in our classrooms, on our school grounds. Members of OCR are fighting for your children. We are not allowed in the building to talk to them. We are not allowed to advocate on behalf of America's children. America, we have a problem.
Now, everybody stand back and let the camera see. They're calling all of these gun-loading people out on us. They're calling them out on us. Look behind this door. Who do you see back there?
The doors will open.
Do they have guns on them? Do they have
guns?
Are they prepared to shoot us? We want in.
Tell what it says on the door.
All access entrance.
It says all entrance.
All government building.
I'm a member of Congress. I'm chair of the Progressive Caucus. I'm vice-ranking member of the Education Committee. And the baseline responsibility of the Congress is to oversee our federal agencies. Each and every one of us have been in this building and through these doors. But of course, as soon as we get word that Elon Musk and Donald Trump want to shut down the Department of Education, suddenly they don't want to let members of Congress in that ask questions. Musk and the Republicans, they say they're supposedly about saving us money, bringing transparency, seeing where the dollars really go. No, they're the ones that lock the doors and make sure that your elected representatives can't even ask questions.
We can't ask questions. Can't you know that they're responsible for all of the student loans in this country?
I hear that they want to cut those student loans and give them as tax cuts to their billionaire friends.
And are they aware of Title I, where mothers are getting up, going to work for minimum wages, and they cannot afford the education that the billionaires have for their children, and we try to help them by giving money to this kind of person here, and the people who work here, included all of the people in this country, and those Title I families who need some help, both in urban areas and rural areas. And mothers who can't even afford the child care that they need for their children while they're taking these jobs, making minimum wages, and we're helping them with Title I, and this man is blocking the door. He says he's a federal employee. He won't tell us who gave him permission to do this. All he knows is he's going to stand here and tell the members of Congress who are elected, who vote for the funding for all of them in this building, and for the student loans, and for the Title I families. He's going to tell us that we can't come in and talk with anybody. Is that right?
Does this remind you of the other people who have blocked the schoolhouse doors before?
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Right. Boy, this is a flashback.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You know, this is a civil rights violation. They're prepared to lock the schoolhouse doors of 49 million children in America who go to public schools, and even more students who receive scholarships and loans and grants for higher education.
And now the police are behind this door.
Our police come to the scene. And I know he was told to come out here and do this.
Yes, it was.
He was told to come out here and block members of Congress from entering an all-access entrance to the Department of Education as we fight in defense of public education and students.
Maybe he'll save his job.
Okay, back up, and this is going to go out in history. The man who blocked the doors of the Department of, hold your face up so they can see you. Department of Education, get a good copy of him. Let him get pointed in history for what he's doing today. Let his children see him. Let his children know that he was standing in the way of all children being educated. Look them in the eye. Come on, hold your face up. Look at him. Let them see you. This is him. Look at it. What's your name? Tell us your name. Give me that ID again. So what?
I showed the ID.
You do what?
I showed you the ID.
Could you let me see the ID again? Huh?
No.
No? Will someone else ask him for the ID? Will you ask him for it? He won't let me see it again. You didn't see it.
I haven't
You didn't
seen
see
it.
it. They didn't see it.
Because there is a question as to whether or not you're a private security agent, that's important to us, or an employee of the Department of Education.
There's no identification on you that we can see.
Did you get that picture? Everybody got that
another
picture?
job when they closed down the Department of Education? Have you been promised another job in lieu
You said you're
of...
letting us in? I'm going in to
He didn't let you see the ID.
We'll be going in with you. We'll go in with you.
We're not dangerous. I'm not. I got bad arthritis. I'm not going to hurt you.
Oh, he wants you. He wants you to do something.
I
so he
can't.
can say.
I can't, Maxine. I'm not capable.
Yeah.
All I
yeah.
got is my mouth, my questions,
Yeah.
my agency as Article 1 of the
Excuse
Constitution.
me.
That's
let
all
them
I
see.
got.
He's blocking his ears.
That's all I got.
He's blocking his ears.
All I got. That's all I got. I'm not a prize fighter, except for children. I'm speaking on behalf of my 3 children, my 3 grandchildren, my 3 great-grandchildren, and for the ones that are coming. I got 3 great-granddaughters. I'm guaranteed to have a legacy of more children who are going to need an education. And I am here standing in the gap for them. I got a 2-year-old great-granddaughter who can't do what I'm doing today.
At the Department of Education right now, where they have locked the doors. I've been in this building so many times, so have other members of Congress. It's our job.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, his name is Jim Harefield. Put that in your column. Jim Harefield. Is that your name? Is that your name? Oh, he said that's his name. So put that when you show his picture, identify it. That's his name.
About Trump's plans to shutter the Department of Education, to cut Title I funding that fund so many of our public schools.
proposition and work with Democrats to get something done. No ideas, no bills, no proposals, no executive orders, nothing from Republicans, but chaos and cronyism. How is that lowering the high cost of living for everyday Americans? It's not. It's day 19, and we're still waiting. Questions?
We expect sometime before the end of the weekend, maybe Monday, Republicans to release their tax cut and government spending cut plan here. Will Democrats just dismiss that out of hand? And can you elaborate what the concerns are if they start to nibble around the edges of entitlement programs? But by the same token here, the idea that there'll be tax cuts in there, that they would argue is something that would lower costs for people.
We've been waiting for this so-called budget proposal for weeks. When is it coming? And what's the problem? What's the problem? We've been lectured for months by Republicans that they have a big mandate. Where is your bill? Where's your budget proposal? What we've seen from Republicans in terms of the budget is that they want to end Medicaid as we know it, are considering eliminating the mortgage interest deduction, and want to take away veterans benefits and nutritional assistance from children and families. Is that something that Democrats will support? No. We will also not support massive tax breaks for Republican billionaire donors and wealthy corporations while doing nothing to lower the high cost of living for everyday Americans, and then sticking working class Americans with the bill. But it's all hypothetical because we've been waiting day after day, week after week, month after month for the Republican budget proposal. Where is it? What's the problem? You've lectured America that you have a big mandate. Where is it?
Thank you, Mr. Leader. Earlier today, Speaker Mike Johnson said that Democrats have been unresponsive over the last couple of days with respect to government funding negotiations. Can you update us on where things stand? What's your response?
Projection.
I'm sorry, can you clarify that? Because he's alleging that Democrats are trying to set up a potential...
Rosa, first of all, Republicans control.
And part of the job, as you're reminded, is that Congress is here to oversee the executive and to check executive authority, and certainly to raise some questions about what I think we'd all agree right now is constitutional overreach. And central power has been centralized power in American democracy has always been a fair subject for inquiry. And as we proceed in April to celebrate the beginning at Concord and Lexington of the 250th anniversary of the American Declaration of Independence, let's not forget that part of it was the idea that from the Runnymede, Magna Carta, the Battle of Hastings, right to the Declaration of Independence, it was checking executive authority. And that is our fundamental role, and that members of Congress don't serve under presidents of the United States. We serve with presidents of the United States. I think one of the things that we're also very mindful of today is that the data breach, and that's what it would be treated like with any other press announcement if somehow somebody broke into the most private records that individuals have. But what's more important than health records? What is more important than health records? If an individual goes to a pharmacy, to the CVS or to Walgreens, they are very guarded about the prescription that they might secure. That is their business. We have no idea now where this data might land. And as it relates to even Social Security, remember, part of Social Security is disability. And disability, I don't think people want to share what the disabilities might be or how they're being perhaps medicated for them. And not to miss the point as well, in Medicare Part D, the prescription drug benefit, this is about the providers and who has access to this information. So I think that we are all united in this issue that privacy remains next to liberty in our constitutional society. And to hear more about that, Terry Sewell, who is entirely knowledgeable. I've been to Alabama with her, spent 3 days. We toured her hospitals. We toured her healthcare providers. She's very sensitive to this information as well. Congresswoman Sewell.
Good afternoon. I'm Congresswoman Terry Sewell of Alabama's 7th Congressional District, and I serve as ranking member of the Ways and Means Subcommittee on Oversight. I want to thank Ranking Member Neal for convening us today. This is an urgent matter, one that demands immediate attention. Let me be clear. Elon Musk has absolutely no business handling the personal information of American taxpayers, period. For an unelected billionaire to have full access to Americans' personal tax and Social Security information is not only a grievance.
Where is it? What's the problem? You've lectured America that you have a big mandate. Where is it?
Thank you, Mr. Leader. Earlier today, Speaker Mike Johnson said that Democrats have been unresponsive over the last couple of days with respect to government funding negotiations. Can you update us on where things stand? What's your response?
Projection.
I'm sorry, can you clarify that? Because he's alleging that Democrats are trying to set up a potential...
Rosa, first of all, Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. They have every vote that they need, as we've been lectured, to do whatever the heck they want to the American people. Let's be clear about that. It's not Democrats saying that, that's Republicans. That's the whole idea behind the so-called budget reconciliation process. Republicans have told America repeatedly, we can do whatever we want because we control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. Republicans have been saying that. So I think my initial response, projection, should speak for itself in that context. But what also is clear, as Rosa DeLauro has stated publicly, Democrats continue to negotiate with our Republican colleagues. We want to find bipartisan common ground in funding the government to meet the needs of the American people. Rosa DeLauro, who was leading our effort as the top Democrat on the House Appropriations Committee, has been trying to get Republicans to respond to her for weeks. Weeks. In fact, she's had the opportunity to actually speak with Senate Democrats and Senate Republicans. It's projection. We want to find bipartisan common ground. We are working hard to reach a spending agreement that meets the needs of the American people in advance of March 14th. I'm hopeful that Republicans are actually willing now to sit down at the table and reach a spending agreement in the best interest of the American people, not in the best interest of their billionaire donors.
The next key leverage point you all have would be one of the things the government shut down avoids. To what extent are Democrats willing to withhold votes? Your argument about the mandate withstanding, but withhold votes to avoid a government shutdown, and what do you need in exchange? In particular, when it comes to, do you see this as an opportunity to try to stop Musk or
I appreciate the question, Kevin, but I'm trying to figure out what leverage we actually have. What leverage do we have? Republicans have repeatedly lectured America. They control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. It's their government. What leverage do we have? We are going to try to find bipartisan common ground on any issue. We'll work with anyone in this town to get things done for the American people, to lower the high cost of living, secure the border, and keep our communities safe while defending dreamers, farm workers, and families at the same time. We have repeatedly made that clear. But Republicans have decided to go it alone. That's what the budget reconciliation process is all about. And so we're ready, willing, and able to work with our Republican colleagues and the current administration, as I have repeatedly stated, on any issue in order to make life better for the American people. That's why we're here. We've made clear from the beginning, there's a season to govern and a season to campaign. We are in the governing season. And so we're ready to work together on any issue. But I'm also confused about the leverage that we allegedly have in the face of such an overwhelming mandate that was given to Republicans by the American people, according to them.
A sticking point for your party for December was Elon Musk announcing his opposition to the funding bill. Are you looking for reassurances from Speaker Republicans that he won't be involved this time around?
Yeah, we're looking to find common ground and to get to an agreement that meets the needs of the American people in terms of their health, safety, national security, and economic well-being. Pretty simple. That's all we want to do. How do we best protect the American people in terms of their health? Includes, but is not limited to, Medicare and Medicaid.
We toured her hospitals. We toured her healthcare providers. She's very sensitive to this information as well. Congresswoman Sewell.
Good afternoon. I'm Congresswoman Terry Sewell of Alabama's 7th Congressional District, and I serve as ranking member of the Ways and Means Subcommittee on Oversight. I want to thank Ranking Member Neal for convening us today. This is an urgent matter, one that demands immediate attention. Let me be clear. Elon Musk has absolutely no business handling the personal information of American taxpayers, period. For an unelected billionaire to have full access to Americans' personal tax and Social Security information is not only an egregious violation of privacy, but it is illegal under Section 6103 of the Internal Revenue Code. As we all saw this morning, we uncovered a set of alarming emails shining a light on Elon Musk's true intentions. He sought to use his access to the Treasury payment system in order to cut off payments to USAID. This raises extremely serious concerns. If Elon Musk can shut off payments to an entire federal agency, we can only imagine what he will be doing with Americans' personal taxpayer information. The American people deserve to know exactly what information has been accessed, how many times it has been accessed, and for what purpose it is being used. As a ranking member of the Subcommittee on Oversight, I am demanding that the IRS provide those answers to us immediately. I led a letter signed by every Ways and Means Democrat to the Acting Commission of the IRS requesting specific details about Elon Musk's access to America's information. Let me be very clear. President Trump is not king. Congress is a co-equal branch of government, and we will not hesitate to exercise our oversight authority to hold this administration accountable. On behalf of the American people, we expect a prompt and thorough response to our questions. I want to take a moment to thank everyone who has reached out to my office to express their concerns. Our phones have been ringing off the hook with constituents who are horrified and frightened that their personal information has been handed over to an unelected billionaire with no accountability to the American people. I want you to know that I see you, we hear you, we all know that we will do everything in our power to fight back against this reckless abuse of power. Rest assured, we will not stand by and let Donald Trump and Elon Musk violate your privacy and dismantle the programs you rely on in order to enrich themselves and their billionaire friends. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to yield the podium to the Tax Subcommittee ranking member, none other than the gentleman, Mike Thompson from California.
Thank you very much. I'm Mike Thompson from California's 4th Congressional District and the ranking member of the Tax Subcommittee. I'd like to thank Chairman Neal and all of my colleagues on the committee for the great work that we're doing to protect our constituents and the American people. You couldn't find a better group of experts in this policy area than those that I share this stage with today, nor could you find better advocates for their constituents and for our democracy, and I'm proud to stand with them. Constitutional overreach or violation of the law, take your pick. What I know for sure is that my constituents are upset. I've heard from thousands of constituents, emails, phone calls, personal conversations. People are fed up with the chaos that's coming out of this administration, and rightfully so. They're concerned that their private information, both their private financial information and their private health care information, has been breached. That's wrong. And now we hear today that the next step is they're going into the Veterans Administration. Veterans who fought for, put their life on the line for our democracy and our country, their privacy is being breached or about to be breached as well. That's wrong. I stand with my colleagues in saying that we'll do everything we can to stop this chaos, stop this nonsense, stop this attack, and protect our constituents, the American people, and our democracy. Now it's my honor to introduce the ranking member of the Health Subcommittee from Texas, Mr. Lloyd Doggett.
Thank you, Mike, and thank you, Mr. Ranking Member, our future Mr. Chairman. I am Lloyd Doggett from Austin, Texas. May or may not have Elon Musk as a constituent down there somewhere around our area, but while never elected to anything, he has elected to invade the privacy of every American by accessing confidential information such as bank numbers, social security numbers, and tax information that is so sensitive that improper disclosure of it can lead to 5 years in federal prison. This information has never before been shared with outsiders. Safeguards on its abusive use by Musk and his merry band of minions has not been there because President Trump first authorized him to basically do whatever he wanted to, and second, he removed the Inspector General at the Treasury Department, as he did at about 16 or 17 other agencies that provided a watchdog to ensure that their proper procedures were followed. The former top career official at the Treasury Department, someone who had been the guardian of the safety of the American people for 35 years, said no when Mr. Musk came, and he was pushed aside and access was given to these records over his objection. Now, arithmetic is the big factor here in this Congress because there are more Republicans than there are Democrats, although only by one, perhaps, during much of the period in question. We're here to declare that while we recognize those limitations, we will use every tool we can find, every tool available to protect the privacy of the American people and to ensure that Elon Musk and Donald Trump don't disrupt payments on which individuals and American businesses are depending. With that in mind, one of the rarely used tools in this Congress is to file a formal resolution of inquiry. In addition to the requests that have been described that we've already sent as members of the Ways and Means Committee to the Treasury Secretary, the Internal Revenue Service, we will be filing a resolution of inquiry to demand that the administration answer key questions regarding the safety of Americans' private data. When alarm rose over Musk's access to this information, the Trump administration immediate response was that Musk minions only had access to read whatever they found over there at the Treasury Department, not to change anything. But subsequent developments raised great questions about that. Musk himself has boasted that he has blocked payments to Lutheran Social Services, and as my colleague mentioned, that he was using this information to cut off payments to the Agency for International Development, a very vital part of our national security that is under assault by the Trump administration. We don't know when and on whom the Musk-Trump axe will next fall, but we are trying to do something about it. Now, one of my constituents in Austin has already experienced a problem with this payment system under the Trump administration. When she attempted to submit a request for payment on a federal grant, she only received the message, quote, "error unrecognizable," and she verified that the same thing had happened to another Texan in a nearby city. You know, I think error unrecognizable is an apt description for the unprecedented assault on the private data of American citizens and a tool for disbursing federal dollars. Instead of protecting Americans by acting immediately on our petition for inquiry, I'm sure that the Speaker, a Trump minion, an enabler in chief, will no doubt refer it to the full Ways and Means Committee, which is pretty busy right now because they're working overtime to ensure that Musk and his fellow billionaires get more tax breaks. But if we do not get prompt action in the Ways and Means Committee, we're authorized under the rules of the House to bring this directly to the full House. And perhaps at that time, divided by a single vote, Americans can determine whether their member views the importance of protecting privacy and assuring uninterrupted payment of Social Security payments, veterans benefits, tax refunds, and the vital funds on which our families, our American businesses, and our communities depend. That's what we'll be about. And to add to it, I call on my colleague, the ranking member on the Trade Subcommittee, Linda Sanchez of California.
So good afternoon. I too am proud to stand with these outstanding members of the Ways and Means Committee to push back on this.
Who did you ask to do that?
The lawyers.
Mr. Chairman, since the witness has said that he encourages this testimony to be public, that he in fact asked the Justice Department to make it public, I would ask you, Mr. Chairman, if you and the ranking member would be willing to write to the court acknowledging the witness has asked for this to be public, supporting it being made public. I can't imagine there's a court in the land that would say no to a bipartisan request like that.
I won't tell you. Let me say something. I'm not going to take this out of your time. It's not directly answering your question, but I think it'd be significant what Richard Grinnell put on X. I testified in front of Jack Smith's grand jury, the Justice Department, and Jack Smith's prosecutor told me directly that I could not talk about my testimony or risk legal actions. Then he goes on to say that certain senators I won't mention here should, as those lawyers, ask those lawyers why they instructed witnesses this way.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'd welcome the chance to have Mr. Grinnell testify under oath as opposed to on X. But nevertheless, what I would ask, given that this witness has said he made the request, this witness has said he would like us to read the testimony, I would ask if you and Mr. Durbin would be, Senator Durbin would be willing to make that request of the court.
I wouldn't answer your question without get all the background I need, considering the conversation between you two. I couldn't make that judgment now.
Yeah, I appreciate your consideration, Mr. Chairman. And the reason why I think it's so important is let's remind ourselves what those documents were in Mar-a-Lago. According to the indictment, the classified documents Trump stored in his boxes include information regarding defense and weapons capabilities of both the United States and foreign countries, the United States nuclear programs, potential vulnerabilities of the United States and its allies to military attack, and plans for possible retaliation in response to a foreign attack. So testimony that goes to the care or lack of care, the truthfulness or lack of truthfulness of Mr. Patel would be directly relevant to whether he should be confirmed as FBI director, and those records are there for the asking. No court's going to turn us down. Mr. Patel may be, I don't know, but he may be the first nominee for FBI director in history who felt it necessary to plead the fifth, to say that he wouldn't testify to a grand jury because it might incriminate him. Maybe the first nominee for FBI director ever to feel the necessity of pleading the fifth. Shouldn't we ask for that testimony when the witness himself says he would encourage it? Finally, I would just say, we need to think about where we are in this moment. We have a new president. He's fired prosecutors who investigated him. He's investigating other prosecutors, or his Department of Justice is. He's fired inspector generals who might hold him accountable. And this is just the start. And as FBI director nominee, he's chosen someone whose primary qualification, in my view, is his willingness to say yes when everyone else would say no to whatever the president wanted, to say whatever he wanted, to do whatever he wanted. That's why he is sitting here. I mean, look at the people who held that job before Mr. Patel, the stature of the people that held that job, the qualifications of the people that held that job. And how can any of us think that his background, his qualifications hold a candle to the people who went before him? How did we get here where we are defending a nominee like this, who makes songs with convicts who attack law enforcement? How did we get here? And where are we going? History is littered with democracies that lost their freedoms and didn't notice it while it was happening. Let's not be one of them.
Your time's up. Before Senator Tillis ends this, I want to put in the record a letter from the parents of Caleb Mueller. Mr. Patel met them through his role in the successful operation to track and kill ISIS leader al-Baghdadi. The terrorist, I'm quoting, the terrorist group ISIS kidnapped our daughter, Kayla, on August 2013. Any family who has lived through such an experience will know the value of dedicated, compassionate law enforcement officials. Because we have personal experience of his dedication, we know that Kiy Patel is such a person. We continue to see in him a genuinely kind, thoughtful, action-oriented man who focuses on what is true and right and just. He loves our country and our citizens and wants the best for them all. He wants the country to do the best that it can. Without objection, I'll put their letter in the record. Senator Tillis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Patel, I think everything that I did to invest in knowing you better has been on display today. Congratulations. You've exhibited composure, knowledge of the subject matter that I think more than qualifies you for director of the FBI. You know, we seem to have the benefit of sort of a different view of looking at the history. I heard, I actually was supportive of Comey until I figured out that he was playing games. Maybe this is one of the people of great stature, but it's well known now that he did some things that seem to have a political tint to them. I voted for Christopher Wray. I think he's a good man, but I also think he oversaw a department that did bad things. And at the end of the day, that person has to own it, and you will too. You know, it's probably going to disappoint the audience to hear what I'm about to say, those who are watching at home. But you may be surprised to know that most of us at this dais on both sides of the aisle like each other. Senator Schiff and I just met within the last week to talk about areas that we can work together on. Senator Padilla and I actually worked together. We co-chair the bipartisan mental health caucus, and I believe it's actually one of the most important pieces of legislation we've done. I didn't get a whole lot of Republicans to vote for it, but a fair number. And this is working extraordinarily well. Would you commit to me to go into the Nix Center in West Virginia and just see how extraordinary this has come to be and how it hasn't resulted in a mass confiscation of guns? It hasn't resulted in a propagation of red flag laws. In fact, the plain text of the legislation is not allowing money to flow to states, unfortunately, including Florida, that we believe have not gotten the due process right quite yet so that we would actually fund red flag laws that make sense. This is what bipartisanship produces. Now, you're not going to see any bipartisanship in your confirmation. Look, we had Pam Bondi here, and we had people on this committee talking about a friendship or a friendly relationship in the past. The fact is, it was a shirts and skins game. Blue voted no, red voted yes. It's got to be the same thing for your confirmation. But Mr. Patel, I tell you, it has been a distinct honor to do the work with you to get you ready for this hearing. You did all the work. I just, I've got to like the person on the sideline giving you some suggestions, but you did an extraordinary job. And you're going to be held to a high standard. I hope you listen to, and if you don't remember it, listen again to what Senator Kennedy said. There are folks like us that are tired of the pendulum swinging back and forth. We want to be the Senate that confirms an FBI director, that rights the ship, shows consistent respect for the rule of law and the Constitution, consistent respect for all law enforcement officers, and I absolutely believe you're up to the task, and I look forward to supporting your nomination.
Thank you, Senator.
Before I close the meeting, you have anything you want to say? Nope. I've got something here that's directly related to when in my opening statement, I said I want the members of this committee to think about something that's brand new. And it kind of deals with this whole exchange we had today in regard to the grand jury testimony. So I want to read, based upon whistleblower disclosures that I made today, it's clear how unfair and corrupt the Trump prosecution was, and that's created a little faith at best in the grand jury process. We shouldn't allow part of that corrupt process to be used by this committee against the nominee. An example, one document I made public today, DOJ officials literally concurred with Thibault to open the elector case against Trump, and that included a grand jury investigation. Jack Smith's lawfare efforts and its corrupt process should be what this committee investigates. Mr. Patel, thank you for your testimony today. Your family and friends who are here, I think you got to be very proud of him under these tough conditions because he got tough questions. I think you did very well, and your reputation leading up to and during this hearing, I think proves that you're a person that can stand a lot of heat, including a president that's telling you how to do your job. If confirmed, you'll be in charge of one of the world's best law enforcement agencies at the time when it desperately needs strong changes. Everyone's information, written questions can be submitted for the record until 5 p.m. tomorrow. Mr. Patel, when you receive them, it's very important you get back to us just as fast as you can so we can set up the meetings that we have to go through to get you to the floor of the Senate. So return them to the committee as soon as possible. Mr. Patel, you are excused and the hearing is adjourned.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Limits. so that we can proceed efficiently.
Legal hurdles facing Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency or DOGE as it tries to dismantle and restructure, as it says, multiple federal agencies. On Thursday, a lawsuit by a coalition of labor unions prompted the Labor Department to agree not to release any sensitive economic and privacy data to DOGE. The agency holds sensitive data, likely including worker complaints against Musk and his companies. The lawsuit argues, quote, DOGE seeks to gain access to sensitive systems before courts can stop them, dismantle agencies before Congress can assert its prerogatives in the federal budget, and intimidate and threaten employees who stand in their way. The results have already been catastrophic. DOGE has seized control of some of the most carefully protected information systems housed at the Treasury Department, taken hold of all sensitive personnel information at the Office of Personnel Management, and dismantled an entire agency within a week. A full hearing on the case is set for today. This comes as a similar lawsuit filed this week resulted in another agreement Thursday to stop DOGE from accessing millions of sensitive personal and financial records from the Treasury Department. The case was filed by Public Citizen on behalf of the American Federation of Government Employees, the Service Employees International Union, and the Alliance for Retired Americans. For more, we're joined by two guests. In Washington, D.C., Robert Weissman is with us, co-president of Public Citizen, which has also sued to stop the Trump administration's attack on the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID. And in Arlington, Virginia, Rob Schreiber is with us, senior advisor to Democracy Forward, which filed the lawsuit over Labor Department data on behalf of a coalition of labor unions. Until days ago, he was the acting director of the Office of Personnel Management under the Biden administration. Welcome you both to Democracy Now! Rob Schreiber, let's begin with you. Is Elon Musk committing crimes here?
So, Amy, it remains to be seen. But I think what we know right now is there are huge problems with what Elon Musk and his team are doing to access the most critical personal data that this country owns. There are processes in place that protect that data from public disclosure, that make sure that it's used appropriately and not to engage in retribution or gain competitive advantages. And I think the complaint that Democracy Forward filed on behalf of 4 million workers lays out in great detail the risk and the harm that is already happening.
Talk about the information that is at risk here. And the young men 19 to 26, who used to work for SpaceX or X or Tesla, Elon Musk's private companies, who have access to this information.
Yeah, I think that latter part is incredibly alarming. We don't know if these individuals are employees of the government. We don't know if they've gone through any vetting process. The background investigation process is not just some technical HR thing that people get annoyed about. It's meant to determine whether people are subject to blackmail or foreign agents or of such questionable character that they can't be trusted with sensitive data. So to bypass that process, which if that happened would be a huge problem, we need to know, the American people need to know what has happened to get these people access. And then the types of data that you're talking about include personally identifiable information, personal health records, data about workers' compensation claims, data about Elon Musk's competitors, and some of the data that our economy relies upon to be reported out objectively and without political interference.
Can you tell us what the agency that you were in charge of, the Office of Personnel Management, I mean, it sounds so bureaucratic, it's hard for people to identify with it. What the information you held there is and why it's so threatening. And can you talk, for example, about Medicaid?
Sure. So OPM is essentially the HR agency of the federal government. It issues HR policy. It manages and processes retirements for federal employees. It also manages the largest group health insurance program in the world, the Federal Employee Health Benefits Program. So in order to carry out all of those functions, which by the way are largely nonpartisan, right? Like most of the time, OPM spends like just processing these retirement applications, managing health insurance, largely nonpartisan. But to carry out those missions, it has data on millions and millions of Americans, not just the 2.3 million active federal employees, but also the millions more retirees, the 8 million people who are enrolled in the Federal Employee Health Benefit Program, which includes federal employees, their family members, some of the highest ranking officials in government, including members of Congress. So all of that data is housed at OPM and subject to very strict rules and controls.
Y'all remember
Happy New Year. God bless your heart. Kiss my black pants. I see you, devil. I see you, devil. Ain't nobody scared of you, devil. Church is named by the identity of the people in the room. Every church in Atlanta, Georgia is a gay church. Every last one. I said what I said, and I'm not taking it back.
You're more than welcome, man of God. Man of God, man of God. Here, let me tell you this. The Bible say, lay hands on no man. You're more than welcome, man of God. Lay hands on no man's son. Satan, the Lord rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Every demon, I see you, devil. I see you, devil. I see you, devil. Ain't nobody scared of you, devil. I see you, devil. I see you, devil. I see you, devil. I see you, devil. Ain't nobody scared of you, devil. I see you, devil.
For a minute, Lord, I want to know your plan. Can we talk for a minute? Lord, I want to know.
And we have come listen. Stop. Now.
Happy New Year. God bless your heart. Kiss my black pants. I said kiss my black pants. I know I may have done some things that I shouldn't have done in the last year. But I want to tell you right now, kiss my black pants. Oh, kiss it. Oh, kiss it. Oh, kiss it. Oh, kiss my black pants. Can you look at somebody?